All right, guys, I'm here with Sawyer, and we're gonna go take my first robotaxi ride. So here's something that's kind of interesting. Our team has identified an issue and is working to resolve it. So that's interesting. So it does kind of show a message when the remote operators are tuning in.
How can I help?
No need to help. Everything's good.
Everybody get their seatbelts buckled?
Yep. Yeah.
You'll have a good trip.
Thanks. See, I did notice that was kind of interesting. It doesn't let you leave until everybody buckles their seatbelt. So FSD won't engage if the driver's seatbelt is unbuckled, but this actually requires everyone to have their seatbelts on. That's a good safety precaution. So they know that if there is a crash, you know, everybody's buckled in at least. So all right, let's get started.
Nice long drive.
We've got about a 18-minute drive here. And yeah, there's no one in the driver's seat. It's just driving. Pretty crazy. But yet it feels pretty normal, right? I mean, having used FSD, seeing a Model Y driving us doesn't really feel all that surprising, honestly.
Yep, and then you got your different media, you got the privacy thing, so it'll tell you about the camera and microphone. And then you got your Apple Music, you got your control there, and then once you hit the air, it'll move the destination timeline up there.
Yeah, I love what they did with the software here. Honestly, I wish I could kind of get some of this functionality on my Tesla.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool how they have, you know, I don't think they have the music in the rear for the regular Teslas. And then they've got this kind of app picker, and they've got the map, which is cool. They don't have that in the normal Teslas.
You can't move it in any way, so it's kind of just locked there.
Yeah, but I mean, it's very smooth. It's very human-like. It's a little smoother than Waymo even. We've got some direct sun glare here. A lot of people said this would prevent it from working, but here we are. We got a pedestrian with a stroller on the side. It offsetted well. I mean, yeah, if you're an FSD user, this feels natural. And I love the glass roof. When you're in a Waymo, the whole thing's covered with the LiDAR.
And it's funny, I bought a new Model Y 3 months ago, and I've actually never sat in the back seat of it. So
Yeah.
I never get to enjoy like the full glass roof.
Right,
So
yeah.
This was the first time in the robotaxi rides I got to enjoy it.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice experience compared to being in a Waymo. It feels much more spacious. The glass roof definitely makes it feel much more open.
So you'll see on the screen, you'll see the pullover button on the left, the stay in lane, stop in lane button in the middle, and the support button on the right.
Right, yeah. So
Standard mode.
yeah, so they seem to all be in standard mode. They've got the pullover, the stop in lane. Here on the rear screen, we also have a pullover button in the bottom left corner. And I'm guessing that the door handle button is probably an emergency stop, though they're probably not allowed to confirm that.
Speed bump.
Yeah, the safety monitors are basically pretending they're not here. They don't seem to be doing much. You know, there's a lot of conspiracy theories. Someone's driving the car over the internet. The guy in the front seat is driving the car, but it's the car's AI that's doing all the driving. So I guess I'm not leaving the geofence area this week. If you ask me to go to dinner and it's outside the geofence, I'm not coming. So we got YouTube here. We can pull up the GigaCast.
Nice. Not so.
All right.
A lot of sun glare. It's good.
All right. There's Sawyer in the back of the robotaxi.
So what is this? Oh, it's the volume.
Yeah. So they got YouTube, Netflix. That's another thing Waymo doesn't have. They seem to be a little better on the entertainment options. I love that it's staying signed in.
Yeah, and if there's something that you're not signed into, which, let's see if you're signed into Apple Podcast, yeah. Pause that. Trying to find something you're not Audible, maybe?
Oh, I'm signed into everything. I don't think I have Amazon Music.
Okay, we'll try that.
There we go.
There you go. So it says automatically log in during your ride, and then it logs out after you exit for privacy reasons.
Yeah, they've really put a little extra work into the entertainment experience here, and it's probably, I think, the most entertaining robotaxi you can be in. Waymo's pretty bare by comparison. They've even got some games here. You can play Beach Buggy, Skyforce, 2048, chess, Fallout Shelter. Wouldn't expect anything less from Elon. But yeah, overall, I mean, it's pretty boring, which is good. It just works. I don't think they're that far off from being able to remove safety monitors, expand the geofence,
Yeah.
and take this much more wide. And I mean, it's a killer experience compared to having a human driver. I was just in New York City for 10 days. There's no autonomous cars there. You get into an Uber and it just smells really bad. It smells like cigarettes or body odor.
I took 3 Ubers yesterday. 2 of them smelled like cigarettes.
Yeah. I mean, human-driven cars suck. Someone's bringing their trash out there. And it's just smooth. It doesn't brake harshly. It gets out of the way. It's got to be, I think, the smoothest self-driving ride you can get anywhere in the world.
There's Waymo.
Yeah. They're all over the place here.
Yeah.
We're definitely getting into the self-driving wars. It's really started now. Because there's been some Waymo copycats. You know, Cruise basically tried to copy Waymo's model and their technology, but they just did it more poorly. But this is the first time someone's come at it with a completely different approach. And that's when I think things start to get interesting. That's when the competition really heats up here. Yeah. You can just sit back, look at the sky, watch movies, listen to music.
How's the braking compared to Waymo, in your opinion?
The Waymo, it seems like it brakes a little more harshly. You know, in general, it just feels more robotic in the Waymo. So sometimes you have kind of these hard stops or turns that feel a little aggressive. Here it just feels much more like a human. All right, we're making a left turn. Car's creeping. Looks like there's a car coming.
Nice.
Another car. And now we're good to go. Yeah, sometimes I see a Model Y, I'm like, oh, is that a robo-taxi? Oh, it's just somebody's car.
Literally, the only way you can tell is the stickers, and then if there's anyone in the front.
Yeah,
driver's
exactly.
seat.
Yeah, which just makes you think, like, they could probably turn this on for customers' cars, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just turn off the cabin camera.
Yeah, the only thing we don't know is the software version they're running on these cars. I've attempted to ask safety monitors in my previous rides, but no answer, unfortunately.
Yeah, some people have told me that they saw something in the fleet database that was FSD 13.3.
Yep.
So I'm guessing that's what it probably is, and it doesn't feel dramatically different than what's in our cars. You know, it feels very familiar.
Yeah. It does.
Obviously, it isn't making any mistakes, which, you know, our cars don't make that many mistakes either. I think they really kind of tuned it for the area it's operating in, but it really is just kind of an iterative improvement on the 13.2.9 we already have, I think. It's also kind of interesting how there's no vehicle controls button in the bottom left.
Mm-hmm.
You can't change any of the settings on this car. Even the safety monitor can't. And they've really kind of customized the software for Robotaxi. All this work has been going on behind the scenes. But seeing the geofence area here in Austin, I'm not too worried. I think they've got this down pretty well. After spending 10 days in New York City and using FST Supervise there, man, their software can handle some crazy stuff. People jumping out at you.
Yep. This would be a good test here. You
Yeah.
got a green light, but traffic's still coming from ahead. So it's patiently waiting for an opening here.
Yeah, there's no left turn arrow here. So it's got to wait for traffic to open. The one tough thing that Austin does have is, you know, people can tend to drive pretty fast here sometimes.
Yep.
But other than that, I mean, nothing really too tough in terms of edge cases. At least not that I've seen so far.
Oh, here we go.
Nicely done.
Yep. Sweet.
Yeah. You see a lot of manually driven Teslas in this area. So they've definitely been collecting a lot of data.
If you pull out your phone, you'll also notice that you can control certain things from this screen also on there. So if you open the app,
Yeah, I love the live activity.
yep. So you can control the temperature, call support right from there, pull over right from there.
Yeah, I love that you can set the temperature. It's like 100 degrees right now in
Yeah.
Austin. So being able to make sure that the Robotaxi's at the temperature you want, cold, but not too cold. I think with Waymo, you have to actually wait until the car shows up. And then you can change the temperature inside.
Yep.
The other thing I've noticed is the driving is so natural that nobody even notices that the car doesn't have a driver. People just walk by, drive by. Nobody seems to notice.
It blends in really well.
Yeah. Which I guess is good. Yeah, I was a little worried about like protesters or Dan O'Dowd or political activists trying to do something crazy. But we haven't really seen that much of that, right?
Nope.
Nobody's leaving child dummies in the road.
No, I've done, what, 14, 15 rides now? Haven't experienced
Wow.
any of that.
Yeah, or, we saw some Waymos getting burned down recently. I think that kind of spooked some people. Right, a right turn followed by a left turn right away. Nicely done. I mean, they did so much work leading up to this point. We saw so many improvements over the years that now taking the driver out of the seat almost just feels like,
Yep.
yeah,
You'll see a message on the screen that says external drive is almost full, 75%.
Yeah.
I've noticed that on a couple other Robotaxi rides as well.
right.
So the data will start being deleted at 85%.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I'm guessing that they're probably recording the full telemetry and video from every drive so that they can inspect it. And maybe the safety monitor's changing out the drives or something in between rides. It's very cautious, it's very safe. There are people who are looking for any clip of it doing anything weird and trying to focus on that, but what you're not going to see is just how normal everything's working 99% of the time. But of course, it needs to be, close to 100%. And it seems like it is. But with just 10 cars, the probability of anything happening is pretty low. Yeah. Yeah, it handles hills, pedestrians, tight roads. And it's very proactive. Like, it was actually right there anticipating
Yep.
that driver might need to go around that
You
truck.
can feel it, yep.
And slowing down in anticipation. That's really the power of deep learning. It's not even about seeing what's in front of you, it's about predicting what's about to happen. And that's what lets it drive so smoothly. Had a little bit of a harsher brake there. There was a pedestrian on the right side. Nothing too harsh, but a little bit more sudden than it would otherwise. Here we've got some, I think that might be a bike lane. Something that might have been a little confusing for older versions of FSD, but it seems to have it down pretty well. And, this is running every day. I saw some people making comments today. They said, what, that's it? Just one day of Robotaxi? No, it's not one day.
So the app that we downloaded, I think it said it expires in 90 days, the test flight. So
That's just a standard kind of test flight thing.
yeah, so I imagine, but I don't think we're going to get cut off. I think they'll just keep it open. But we can do
Yeah.
rides 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 12.
Once they issue a new build of the app, it goes for another 90 days.
Yeah.
But eventually the app will just be in the App Store. So yeah, this isn't a temporary thing. They
So
intend to keep
You
it
think-
live in
Do you think
Austin.
it'll stay a separate app or merge it with the Tesla app? 'Cause I imagine they will merge it eventually, no?
I think they will merge it, yeah. This is probably just a way for them to kind of control access to who has it.
Yep. Yeah, and I think you'll notice at night too. It feels no different than it does during the day. Just as confident. Doesn't take things on more slowly at night.
Yeah,
So we're 2 minutes away, so it gives you that. Make sure you're to gather your belongings.
yeah.
And a ding,
Yeah, I like that it just kind of dings at you.
and then it pops up, drop you off now if you wanted to get off early.
Yeah, that's handy. Because sometimes it gets the drop-off spot a little bit wrong. And, Waymo kind of talks to you, which I find a little annoying. They go get your stuff. So I like the little ding,
Yeah.
If you're riding in this all the time, that is going to be enough. But yeah, I mean, it's smooth. It's comfortable. Feels safe. If you're an FSD user, this is going to be a lot like what you're used to. If you're not an FSD user, you're probably going to be pretty surprised to see how well this thing can drive. But it's very low key.
Oh, first rear-wheel drive Cybertruck I've seen.
Oh shit!
Nice.
Maybe we need to go back there and take a look at
I
it.
think we do.
Like, nobody's ordering those. At least nobody we know.
Yeah.
The Tesla fans would not order that. All right, and we're here. That was our first Robotaxi ride.
Sweet.
No interventions, no weird moments. Nailed it. Thanks for watching, everybody.